justice that we are longing for.
Thank you, Dad, enough, singer. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad, enough, singer. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Dad, enough, singer. Thank you,
This past Jan term, I had the privilege of doing an independent study called Liturgies from Below, Prayers in Defiance of Empire. My study was centered on the work of the Reimagining Worship Project by the Council for World Mission. The mission of the project was to facilitate the creation of life-affirming liturgies from around the world. A group of about 120 pastors, seminarians, scholars, artists, and activists, representing more than 50 countries, traveled to the Philippines, Jamaica, Italy, and South Africa, and held workshops with the local people. The travelers and the locals worshiped, conversed, ate, sang, and prayed together, coming up with over 500 pieces of liturgy. What united the people and the prayers they offered was the deep-seated pain and reality that it is to live in the context of empire. Many of the prayers are bold and resist the hold that empire holds over their lives. Others pray for liberation, with a recognition that it is the people who have to be the hands and feet of God in the effort. Some of the prayers read like psalms, reacting to current pain and expressing rage, even toward God, illustrating the hard truths of the lives they lead. The workshop participants represent many denominations, from ultra-conservative to liberal, and they had to sit. They had to sit together and listen to these prayers, some of which even used curse words to describe their pain. I read a response made by the participants about one such prayer. This prayer was very difficult for all of us. The person who said this prayer presented it so vividly and exposed so much suffering that it impacted all of us. The language might not be acceptable for many, and people in our group would never accept such heavy language to speak to God. It was quite a difficult moment, but the group had seen a bit of what this person was speaking about, and we could all relate to the devastating situation of the land and of his people. The reason this prayer is here is because it was part of the whole process of engaging the realities from various theologies and worship experiences. Imagine. Imagine what worship could look like, sound like, feel like, and accomplish if we allowed our prayers to speak such truth and for people to express themselves irrespective of what is considered acceptable in worship spaces. Does God not already know the realities we live in? Who are we fooling with our polished and polite prayers?
They came from the west, sailing to the east, taking away the resources of Africa.
Africa is a tool. Africa is a tool. Sikalela, sikalela, sikalela is a tool.
All of the images used in this worship service come from the Reimagining Worship Project. So does the opening prayer, part of the prayers of the people, and the blessing. If you wish to know more about these prayers and make use of them in your own worship context, you can do so through multiple means. You can purchase the book From the Ends of the World, Prayers in Defiance of Empire, though if you're in the United States, it has a different title. Here it is called Liturgies from Below, Praying with People at the Ends of the World. It's the exact same book containing 462 acts of worship, including full liturgies, calls to worship, confession sequences, intercessory prayers, benedictions, and so much more. I will let you discern why the US version has a different title. Alternatively, you can also access the Reimagining Worship website, which currently contains about 150 pieces of liturgy, including songs. The site welcomes new pieces, and they will be published continuously, creating an ever-growing resource for many ministry settings to employ. You can also read more about the project and reflections from participants. So, let us pray.